Welcome back. This is the Tutor Wizard. I'm Adrian. Please subscribe right here. Hit the notification bell below. We're doing Linear Algebra 1. This is Chapter 1, Systems of Linear Equations. 1.7 is Gaussian Elimination and Row Reduction. This lecture we're going to do a recap for 1.7.2, which is reduced row echelon form and solving some linear systems. Alright, a matrix is any matrix, but specifically we're talking about augmented, which means it comes from the linear system and there's an equal sign in there. An augmented matrix is in reduced row echelon form, and technically you're using Gaussian-Jordan elimination to get that way. Add the R, add the Jordan to the process, it's the same. Use the 3 row operations to get to reduced row echelon form, not just row echelon form. These ones you can make not unique. If I change this one and made this a 2 and a 4, I could see that this is an REF. It's not unique. We say why? Because up to that leading constant, because 2 is non-zero, I can divide now and put it back to what it was, and that's what I'd like to do, is give it leading entries, and then so there's more than one REF possibly, but there's not more than one RREF. It's unique. The best way to see that is, why is this in REF but not reduced row echelon form? You're like, I just got used to getting REF and then you've changed it and added 3 more conditions. Well, actually now there's there's 5 conditions, which can sort of be 4 conditions if you combine the zeros below and zeros above. What reduced row echelon form says again is, first of all, if you just scrap all of that and just try to memorize, what it's saying is 0 rows go to the bottom, check. Now if you have a leading entry, you have zeros above and below. These two guys. You can't have non-zero entries above leading entries, so these are the 2 things that are bad with this and why this is not reduced row echelon form. And you have to have all leading entries are 1s, so the 2-4 business wouldn't have been good either, because even if I had eliminated those and if we had done this, that is not our reduced row echelon form either, because this says all leading entries have to be leading 1s, so it has to go to a 1, and then it's unique. What does this say? Here, you would have to, for all intents and purposes, when we're solving this now, what that says is immediately x3 is equal to 2. And now if I don't want to go to RREF, which at first I would say don't, just get to REF and then stop, well, we have to point the reduced row echelon form out, partly because it's in the curriculum and partly because I do need it actually for a couple of techniques in chapter 2, in particular finding the inverse of matrices using elementary matrices. Go watch the videos. Once I have this, I can back substitute now. So this equation tells me that x2 is equal to -1 plus x3, which is -1 plus 2, which is 1. And then in the last equation, this says x1 is 5 minus x3, which is 5 minus 2, which is 3. So I get the unique solution. X1 is 3, x2 is 1, and x3 is 2. That just hurt my brain. It was a permutation of the indices, essentially. Or, if you don't like that, you do a little bit more work, and what are you going to do? You're going to do 2 row operations. You're going to do row 2 now goes to row 2 plus row 3 to get rid of this guy, and then you're going to do row 1 goes to row 1 minus row 3. Once you do that, you're going to get this. And now do you see? This just reads off as equations. This says x1 equals 3, x2 equals 1, and x3 is equal to 2. It just reads off the solution in reduced row echelon form, regardless. This is why we would like it. For now, though, I would say if you're training at first, yes, and then you're trying to put in your brain, why put in your brain all the conditions of reduced row echelon form? Scrap all of this, memorize row echelon form. I guarantee, regardless of the size of the linear system, if you have an n by n linear system and you augment the matrix and use Gaussian elimination to row echelon form, in the last row you can tell whether there's one solution, infinitely many solutions, or no solutions. Reduced row echelon form will do it also, and it has other uses in the next chapter, but for now, stick to REF and solve the system. Please subscribe right here, hit the notification bell. I'll see you next time. Oh, I put that up there and I forgot I put it.